Welcome to the very first edition of the NSI movie review. On this edition, we're going to be talking about Captain America: Brave New World. Before we get into it, let me introduce the panel. As always, we got Josh. Say what's up, Josh.
Hello, everybody. Captain America.
Hell yeah. And we also got Brian. Say what's up, Brian.
Yo, how's everyone doing out there tonight?
Hell yeah. So, Captain America: Brave New World. Let me go ahead and read the synopsis first before we get into it. Sam finds himself in the middle of an international incident after meeting with President Thaddeus Ross. He must soon discover the reason behind the nefarious global plot before the true mastermind has the entire world seeing red. I'm gonna go with Josh. Go ahead and let me know what you thought about the movie going into it, and what was your favorite parts of the movie that stood out for you.
Before we do all that, are we gonna give a spoiler alert or just talk about what we liked about it, then go to spoilers?
Unfortunately, we can't go into it without talking about spoilers. So definitely, thank you very much. Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen the movie,
you guys are out of luck. Too bad.
Yeah, don't watch this review. It makes no sense. Why would you watch a review if you haven't seen the movie?
Yep, giving you the warning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. So what my favorite thing about the whole movie is when they talk about adamantium. That was my favorite thing. I giggled so hard. Christina gave me a look, and I was like, "That's Wolverine's claws, the metal that gives him his claws." She's like, "Oh," I was like, "Yeah." That was my whole favorite part. And then I did like how they tied in the Internals, even though Internals wasn't that great for me.
Yeah.
And Incredible Hulk, I like how they did all that. The story for me, the movie was good. I knew about the reshoots and everything about the movie. I wish they would have gone with the original plan they had. It sounded so cool. But Brian said no. I like the whole thing with the serpent thing.
Serpent Society is so whack. I never liked.
But the actors they had for it.
I saw that part, but I was like, nah. But it's Serpent Society over the Red Hulk. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. The funny thing is that Captain America: Civil War was called Serpent Society before it turned Civil War.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but I did like everything. I like the whole relationship with Isaiah and
Sam
Mackey's
Wilson.
character. Sam Wilson, and also Sam Wilson with
Joaquin.
Taurus. I like all their individual together. And I did like the idea of the leader and his plan. I just didn't think it was executed that well.
Yep.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Brian, same question to you. Give me your favorite parts and what stood out for you.
Oh, I mean, favorite parts right off the bat, obviously the end, the final fight with Red Hulk. That was definitely worth the hype. I think it's underutilized, but that one scene where him and Falcon have to fucking fight all that aerial stuff.
Yeah, that was dope.
That shit was fucking dope because it really did show that, okay, that's what makes this Captain America different from the original. Because the original one I'm sorry, but Steve Rogers wouldn't have not been able to fucking do anything about all that shit.
Nope.
And that's what really showed in that moment what made this Captain America a little bit different from the original. You know, there's disadvantages and there's advantages that this one can and can't do, but I think that's what also built its own character.
Yeah.
And I think that also resolved with the factors that Sam Wilson itself as a character, I think, had to fight through and really suffer through because of even shit that's going on right now, you know. I think that line hit a lot more impactful to me, that moment where Harrison Ford's character was like, "Oh, you're not Steve Rogers." That and the way he built up to that, I was just like, "No, motherfucker, say what you really want to say."
Yeah,
no,
say the word. Might as well at that point.
Hey, you know what's funny? When I was watching, they cut out the other scene where he goes, "You're right, I'm not."
No. That's true. That was in the trailer.
I was like, damn.
A very good point there, Brian.
Yeah.
Go
I really felt like he himself was really fighting his own identity to be the leader that, you know, right now the Avengers really needs. And I think he, even not just the character, but I think the actor himself, I think now after seeing this, I think he can definitely lead the team. And I think that's what they're leading towards.
Yeah.
If I do have any problems, I do have 3 problems with it. I guess you can say they're somewhat major. Some of them aren't, but this is what the 3 are. So, number 1, I do think that some of the action and some of the CGI is like a little bit too much, or like very cut, a little off, especially the fighting scenes. I think the fighting scenes are, I don't know, they're like almost wanting to be Winter Soldier, but they're not exactly there.
I get you.
And the CGI on some scenes, they look a little bit too computer generated, especially seeing with some of the budget, but it makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
My second thing is that there's some things that they were promoting that didn't actually make it into the film. Like there was a 7-minute promotion that they had out, and I didn't see any of that shit in the actual movie.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and I was waiting for that shit, and I saw the shit in 4DX, and this shit was fucking crazy. So like whatever my original score is coming out of this, you can just add an entire point if you're watching it in 4DX. Because wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it would be that. And my third and final thing, I think my biggest problem with it was kind of, I would say, the end credit scene. I would have preferred it for a Nick Fury coming in and being like, okay, let's get the fucking Avengers
back together
now. Yeah.
So
especially for the fact that you had a cameo with Bucky, so
yeah,
that's leading up with the Thunderbolts, and then you got Thunderbolt Raw, so it's very obvious that that's what it's going to lead up to, because you have Thunderbolt Raw, and that's basically his team. So
real quick, tell me what happened. I left, and I'll tell you once it's my turn why I left. But tell me the end credit scene, because I did not see it.
It's basically just fucking the leader just there telling Sam Wilson, saying that there's a big threat coming up ahead.
multiple threats,
and you better be ready for it, whatever.
I
can see what it's going for. It's probably going for like a doomsday, and I have heard the rumor that they're gonna bring all the original Avengers back for one last time, and basically have them in like variant versions of themselves that are like evil.
I like it.
So that would be like the Secret War in a sense. So basically all the new characters basically fight all these evil versions of them, all these characters that they're used to.
That would be fucking cool. I like it.
Yeah.
So let me give you my things that I liked, and then I'll go into the gripes I had about the movie. Things that I liked. I fucking liked I forgot who mentioned. I think it was Josh. The relationship that they showed that between Isaiah and Sam, and how important that is, and I like that. I also like the introduction of this new Falcon. He was a fucking young dude, go-getter,
Joaquin Flores.
Yeah, this dude, he was ready and fucking down to be a fucking Avenger, and it made him like him. Yeah, he was a likable character. I liked some of the fight scenes, like Brian said, the awesome aerial shit that they were doing towards the end of the movie, where you saw Falcon and Captain America flying. That was really cool. I did not expect that. It makes sense that happened, but I wasn't looking for that. I also saw it in 4DX. But the only problem is I'm gonna be a little bit careful of how I say this. Um, there was a handicapped person watching this at the 4DX, and the person kept hooting and hollering during times that you wouldn't think needed the hoot and and just it was hard to really enjoy it because of it. Maybe it was that's why I didn't really like the movie. But
Hey, you got an entire one more week to watch it.
Yeah,
if you want to
that's
double
true.
check.
But I'll just say that it was a bit distracting to watch the movie, unfortunately. But I still liked it. The things that I didn't like, I will say this: it felt like it should have been a movie they released in Disney Plus. It felt like it.
In some parts, I get what you mean.
Yeah, it didn't make sense why they decided to put this out as a theater release because of what.
I recently saw the Marvels the other day.
Yeah,
And I said the same thing with that one. And when you look back at all these other movies, like the Marvels, Ant-Man 3, fucking what's the other one? Thor Love and Thunder. When you look at all those four movies, you realize that all those were made during the pandemic when they had short enough time to fucking do this. So
And the strike. And the strike.
and the strike.
I feel like a lot of delay from a lot of turbulations that happened didn't let them properly do their multiverse how they wanted to, so they kind of had to just cut corners and do what they could, and kind of I feel like they were relying too much on the shows and relying on too much on the shows to get you to understand the next movie. I think kind of like detached a lot of audiences and fans and everything, you know.
No, I agree.
I think that's the biggest problem that right now the MCU has right now, is that it's relying too much homework onto the people.
So
And I think
I see your point.
kind of relying on knowing some of basically everything you can is hurting itself from general audiences, and that's what's also making people just trip out on like what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
I showed this to someone that never really seen anything, and they even were like, well then what the fuck is going on, what's going on with this, why is Captain America
Yeah.
like this, why is there a Red Hulk, what the fuck, wait, what's going on? And it's simply because I feel like they added too much homework. And I feel also this will be the end of having to worry about all of that. This and Thunderbolts will be the end of relying on the shows.
I feel like Thunderbolts is going to be way better than this one. 100%
Oh,
more.
definitely, because the directors and what they're leading that one up to is going to definitely have a lot more impact.
Yeah. So the thing I was going to say about this movie, Josh kind of touched on it earlier, that there was cuts like crazy. And the thing that he reminded me earlier is that there were leaks that happened, and they showed the costumes of some of these people. And I would have loved to see that movie, because it would have been more of a comic book movie. I feel like James Gunn does really great fucking shit because he understands that. Because when you see his movies, you see a comic book fucking movie. This movie,
that's why Guardians of the Galaxy, all three of them were good.
Yeah,
that's why I didn't name that movie in the movies that did bad, because one the two movies that I am noticing people are not thinking about with the bad Marvel movies is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Deadpool.
Yeah.
And they're avoiding those, and they're immediately thinking of this one to follow all that up from those four other bad movies.
Yeah.
And I don't think it deserves as bad as criticism as any of those, because it's definitely better than all those four that I mentioned for sure. But I don't know. It's a little bit of a mixed bag, but yeah, I think it's not as bad as people think.
It's not as bad. It just feels like shit's missing, and it makes
Yeah.
sense now because of all the cuts. You
Yeah.
could have had fucking Diamond back in this bitch. Like she had like I think Josh mentioned it earlier. Homegirl had dyed her hair pink. She was all up in the fucking suit.
Yeah, they even had McDonald's toys for her.
Yeah.
Come on.
Remember, I saw the.
Oh yeah, and then like I told you, Rick, they were gonna introduce Troy. What's his name? The Hulk, the other Hulk.
Oh, Amadeus Troy,
Yeah,
right?
they were supposed to. They're supposed to introduce him. He was gonna be played by the kid from Ghostbusters,
Bro.
the kid with the podcast.
Yeah.
He's supposed to play
like,
him. Yeah,
no way.
yeah, and they cut his scenes off too.
Yeah,
Doesn't
like
make
I said,
sense.
there's a lot of cuts that I know they did it just for budget reasons, so they can see if they can continue going on. And I'm pretty sure they're trying to see if this thing could still cut through from the audiences and critics to see if Sam Wilson is worthy of his own trilogy as well. And I think,
I wouldn't mind seeing a trilogy.
yeah, I think the same thing too. I think definitely if he has his second movie, I think Sam Wilson needs to fight the Serpent Society.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe you can do like a Cold War or something, whatever you want to call the third one.
Here's the
But,
thing. The rumor is that we might be getting Avengers versus X-Men in the future.
Oh, I
Oh, yeah.
definitely see that in the future. I think we're going to see a lot of big things happening in the future.
Oh yeah,
From what I remember, the next saga
it's the Mutant Saga.
after this,
Mhm.
it's going to be mutants and paranormal.
Nice.
So expect the Midnight
Rider.
Suns, the
Nice.
Midnight Suns and mutants to
Let's
really be a
go.
big thing for this next thing coming forward. And then they said like Galactus is he's not going to be like Thanos where it's going to lead up to one saga. It's going to be Molter. He's going to be like inter saga.
Interesting. He's going to be an ever
You'll see
fucking
him.
presence.
You'll see him everywhere, every here and there, and he's going to lead up to a really big thing
Nice.
throughout sagas.
Yeah, and I heard rumors they might bring back Jonathan Majors too.
That's
yeah.
going to be dope. Hopefully,
yeah, I saw
fucking
that
make
too.
sense.
But
Makes sense.
they have to do that because I'm pretty sure Doctor Doom's most likely going to kill him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that's really what they're gonna bring him back for. They're gonna be like, no, psych, you're not exactly back. You're
Yeah.
here just to die. Bah.
The last thing I'll say about my gripes about this movie is the fighting. Yeah, the fighting scenes could have been a little bit better. There were some awesome scenes. The fucking Hulk fight was awesome, especially in 4DX. It was awesome to experience it. Like, it felt awesome to experience that. But yeah, it makes more sense now that why it feels like there's a lot of stuff missing. Josh, go ahead and give me your gripes about the movie. I'm not sure if I got any of your gripes.
the only gripes I have is like most of the, you could tell some of the parts were reshoots
Mhm.
because a lot of people. The only reason I know there's a lot of reshoots because the testing audience didn't like what they saw.
Yeah, and that happened to do with the Serpent Society.
Yeah.
Bunch
But-
of people don't know what the fuck they need.
And the thing
Come
is
on,
that
people.
when people see these test screenings, they don't have none of the CGI or anything on it still anyway. So I don't know why they're giving bad reviews. Because I went to go see.
I don't know. Like
I
I'm
want-
also noticing a very huge divide from some like reviewers that are like
Mhm.
very popular online, and some of them that aren't. And I'm noticing a very big difference on that too.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I seen other people's opinions about the movie, and some of them were talking about that. Yeah, it was not the same as before, but like this is Captain America. This is the new Captain America. He's gonna do his things differently.
Yeah.
It's like Bucky told him, you don't need the serum. You're your own man.
You know what? I did enjoy that part of the movie too. I like that they he's a different Captain
Oh, he even
America. They
pokes fun
made
of
it.
it too.
Yeah.
That
At
was
the
so
end,
funny.
yeah, that was funny. He's
He was
like,
like,
"Fuck
"Oh,
that,
I should have.
fucking clown."
They were right. I should have fucking taken it." I was
Yeah.
like, wow.
Yeah. And another thing that I did like a lot is at the end when Sam Wilson went to go visit the Falcon in the hospital,
Yeah,
he told him that he saw all these people, but he never wanted to be them. He wanted to be like him, the Falcon.
yeah, yeah. I like that part too. That was pretty cool. All right. What do you think this is going to be leading into? Like, how do you think this is going to? I have a feeling how that Thunderbolts is going to be named Dark Avengers because
Yeah,
of
that's what I was
what,
thinking too.
right?
I think that's what the asterisk is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. At the end, when it ends, it's just gonna say Dark Avengers.
Because
Yeah.
just think about it. Like I'm pretty sure, based on what I see already and knowing some of my lore, the bad guy is going to be the Sentry.
Yeah.
And it's not just
The
going to be a
Void.
Sentry; it's going to be the Void.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if you know about the Void, it's going to be pretty interesting how they introduce that character, because it's kind of like a Superman, but like a really dark side.
Mhm.
And if you can take out the Void, then you basically got a Superman times 10.
Yeah.
It's gonna be dope.
It's gonna be interesting.
I kind of like, again, I feel bad for Seth Rollins a little bit. I feel like this could have been a big thing for him.
He's still in the movie, like I told you. He's in that one scene. He's in that one scene when they get picked up by the FBI.
Yeah,
He's one of the people in the with the mask. You could tell it's him by his eyes. So,
dude, I missed it. That's so funny. Oh man, Harrison Ford did a great job too. I'll say that
Oh,
much.
yeah.
He did. His acting, like in other movies that I've seen beforehand, like I was really like, we'll see, because he phoned it
actually
in.
did not feel like he was shoehorning it.
Nah,
Like it
He
honestly
acted.
felt like he was putting more heart into this than the last Indiana Jones movie. he was working on.
1,000%, 1,000%.
Like the amount of energy he actually put into this, you
Yeah.
can tell he was actually cooperating. So I gotta give Hart at least something, because I really do want him to continue being our Red Hulk if he ends up being it. Because I really like this performance. I thought the motion capture that they really did with Hulk, it really gave us a really good idea of what we can. It's like hope for Hulk later in the future. I heard
Yeah.
a lot of rumors that we might even be getting a World War Hulk, and that
Yeah.
legitimate World War
Dope,
Hulk
dope.
movie
Yeah.
in the near future. So seeing that, it gives me hopes, and I really anything Hulk, I'm always gonna be okay with.
So I'm a little bit pissed because I just saw who also got cut from the movie. Fucking Mark Ruffalo was supposed to show up as Bruce Banner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering, why the fuck are you having this Hulk with no fucking Hulk? Red Hulk with no Hulk? Like, it makes no sense.
Mhm.
There should have been
Yeah, 'cause
something.
That's why, like I said, they were also going to introduce a choice. He was going to be like kind of like a student
Yeah,
with the radiation and
I
all that.
think-
So
And it goes back to the thing, I think, them trying to mix the shows and the movies along with each other. That's what's really mixing tensions of each studio, or whether or not they can fucking add more to the budget to fucking get a character in or whatnot. Where if it was just a movie, we could have just fucking done it immediately. And because we're not playing by that anymore,
Yeah.
we're adding more homework. And that's
Yeah.
kind of the double-edged sword with Marvel right now.
and I did like Liv Tyler's cameo return.
That was dope.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh yeah, just before we end the show here, the leader could have been different, could have looked different. Honestly, I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? This kind of looks like fucking, what's
And
the
I'll-
movie?
And I'll give you a reason why they did that.
Why?
To me,
A
it
substance.
made,
Because of
to me, it
MODOK.
made sense, but go for it.
Because of MODOK, the way he looked in the Ant-Man. That's why they didn't want to do that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because I'm pretty sure
Mhm.
they could have gone with the CGI big weird
Mhm.
head, and that probably looked really off. And I'm really glad they didn't do that, because if they would have done that, I would have been pretty pissed, because I would have been like, because that's what I kept thinking. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my god, if they make this shit look like MODOK, I'm gonna fucking hate you. But then I saw it and I was like, okay, no, it's more practical than it is. Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
I can deal with this because it looks like a more realistic approach on what the leader would end up being, and then
yeah,
you can add up more onto it
A little bit
as
later.
you lead up to him. Because
yeah, like I wouldn't mind the head a little bigger, but it was fine for what it
no,
was.
I'm
But
pretty sure in the future he's gonna get his head will get bigger because that's the whole point of him. As he gets more knowledge, his head does get bigger.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts? Josh, any final thoughts?
I did like the whole thing that they explained how Harrison Ford's character. They brought the I guess it's a callback to Age of Ultron, where he said that he had a heart attack, and then from there I guess is when the leader's been helping him since then, and he's been giving him those pills back and forth. Those pills he thought it was to help for his heart, but it was full with gamma radiation. He didn't even know that.
Yep.
That's why it would have been cool to see Bruce Banner come out and test his blood, like, oh yeah, your thing is full of blood with radiation and all that.
Fucking bullshit.
Yep.
They should have.
I'm pretty sure they cut it down just like I said for budget cuts because of doing all those cuts, the movie did save a lot more money and they were able to make their money back.
Oh yeah,
based on what I'm seeing right now in the box office. So
Bullshit.
whatever, regardless of the backlash, right now it's actually doing well from what I'm seeing right now.
Well, that's good. At least they're getting their money back, I guess.
Yeah, and the audience is liking it too. So it's like a
Yeah,
74%.
right now.
It's
right
at
now
50.
it's the second. Yeah,
The audience.
Yeah, the what is it? Rotten Tomatoes.
The critics have it at 50.
50.
And the audience are
Popcorn.
at 80.
Yeah.
So it's one of those other
What the fuck?
split
Okay, interesting.
from the critic.
It's the
and
critics.
audience.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too because when you look at it, it's actually also it just became the second most earning Captain America
movie. Yep.
ever. So it's right behind Civil War right now. So regardless of the criticism, people are going in there and they're watching it and they're being like, yeah, no, the critics are not getting it.
Rotten Tomatoes never gets anything, so when it comes to comic book movies, they never get anything. So
yeah, no,
I'll give you that.
No, I was really mad when I saw IGN. Fuck you, IGN. They give it a fucking 5, and now it's just like no.
5 out of 10.
There's so many things you guys can give a 5. This is not a 5.
Is it out of 10?
Yeah.
That's no. I don't agree with that one. All right, final grades. That's a good idea. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Or 4 out of 5. Let's do the stars. Like 4 out of 5 stars. I'll do that. I want more.
Actually,
it left me wanting more.
It's actually more than me, and that's me.
Brian, what are you giving this movie? How many stars?
If this was from 1 to 10, it's a 7.5.
Okay.
And I saw this in 4DX, so you can definitely add an entire 1 point onto that. So my experience watching this movie was a fucking 8.5, close to a fucking 9 or 10, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That shit was fucking fun. I really loved it.
Okay.
But generally, 7.5.
7.5. Josh, give us your final thoughts and then your grade.
Well, no one followed me on Instagram besides you guys. I gave it a 7.5 because I like like I said, there's some of the action that was good that I liked, and it kind of felt like a spy movie. The first half of the movie felt like a spy movie to me. It had its comedy; they put it perfectly for me there, here and there. And then, like I said, the whole Red Hulk was good and everything. So my experience was 7.5. It would have been probably like an 8 for me if they would have not cut almost everything that they cut off from the first screenings. You know, they would at least tease more of the Serpent to be like the main villain for the second movie. That if they make a second movie,
yeah,
like they were like I guess you could say they were the pasties for the leader.
Yeah,
you know, and that would have made more sense. But it's Marvel. They're dealing with a lot of crap right now. They're working on a lot of movies. I just can't wait for Daredevil to come out in a few weeks. That's
gonna be dope. All right, before we end, are you guys watching Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man?
Yeah,
right? Fucking good.
Wow, I was actually surprised at how good it was. holy shit. I thought it was gonna suck because I saw the first few trailers of it.
Yeah.
Like, this looks bad, and it just keeps looking worse every time.
Yeah,
Holy fuck. I feel like they're trying to be new, but they're not. And then when I saw it, I was like, whoa,
good shit.
wait,
And
what?
I love that
Whoa.
they're giving more up to the background characters instead of Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, like they're doing something very different with like the
Mhm.
multiverse type of version of what they're
Yep.
whatever they're doing in there. It's
Mhm.
pretty cool. I really like. I was really surprised like how this type of Peter Parker is actually not. He's a nerd, but he's
Yeah.
actually not bullied. He's more liked and
Yep.
popular, and
Mm-hmm.
that was pretty
Mm.
interesting. And then seeing that like his Tony Stark was
Osborn.
Osborn.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
dope.
But I'm still iffy with Osborn.
No,
shit's gonna be
definitely.
wild.
But
Yeah.
I was surprised if you seen episode 5. I that's
Oh,
where
yeah.
right now.
Okay, no,
When I saw that.
I'm fully caught up. I'm waiting for the last 2 episodes
No,
to come
yeah.
out.
When I found out what's his name was, you know who,
Yep.
I was
Uh-oh.
like,
I need to watch it.
wow,
I need to watch it.
that
Fuck.
sucks.
But
All right.
for the show, for me, it's from all the Spider-Man shows I've seen, it's the 90s one, the new one, and Spectacular Spider-Man.
Oh,
So I'd have to agree with that one. It does really feel like the throwback to the 90s one as far as like just really good writing, honestly, for this one.
Yeah. And not only that,
Uh-huh.
they did the whole Civil War intro for
Yeah.
Peter Parker
I
all
like
over again.
that.
I was like, yes.
So I'll say this. The fucking voice actor is the only thing that's killing it for me. He's a little I'm not sure if he's a max.
no, I've heard about that
Yeah.
shit right now. How he's a little offense about his voice acting and DEI bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, he's a
that
little
shouldn't
MAGA.
detract you from the actual show
Yeah.
because the show
Like-
still fucking good.
like I always say,
Honestly, you can always get a replacement for that much.
True.
Yeah,
anyways.
but like I always say, there's people that do shit that we're not supposed to do. So what you do is you separate the art from the person and just enjoy the art, and the person kiss ass.
yeah,
Great point there. Awesome.
That's
And a good point to end on. I want to thank
Mhm.
the panel. Let us know where they can find you on the socials, Josh.
Instagram at Seth_Josh_818.
Hell yeah. Brian, where can they find you on the socials?
you can find me on Instagram and Facebook and every other platform at acearson.com.
Hell yeah. You can find the podcast on the Not So Intellectual podcast on YouTube. You can find me streaming on Twitch, Kick, and sometimes on YouTube. Find me under NSI Rick. You can actually follow us also follow me on TikTok under NSI Rick as well. And you can follow us on Instagram, Not So Intellectual Podcast, The Lucha Critics, and of course me, NSI Rick. Be sure to fill up your popcorn. Till next time. See you guys next time. Bye.